There seems to be this hilariously idiotic notion that suggests that fruit makes you fat. Now, oftentimes the people that push these claims never have a shred of evidence behind them. In fact, they often have no specific reason at all as to why fruit makes you fat, except for it has sugar in it. So we're about to take a big old shit, thanks to the fiber from the fruit we're eating, on this myth today. What's good, YouTube? It's Coach John back again, repping Beyond the Iron. Subscribe if you want to get to your fitness goals faster and more enjoyably, and doing so eating the right foods that are going to help you. Also, I do want to say that I recently just launched a brand new 12-week coaching program. The first link that you're going to see down in the description below will take you to a page that's going to give you some more details if you're interested in losing fat over the next 12 weeks. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right into this. I don't want to waste any time. So let's first analyze what is it exactly that makes people fat. And by the way, I will be including studies to relate to everything that I say in this video, okay? Those will be linked at the bottom of the description as well as labeled so that you know exactly what studies to look for on what topic I cover. So it's been very clearly shown and proven that not one single nutrient or one single thing is actually directly responsible for obesity rates increasing for people getting fat, but rather it is a combination of multiple things that come together and ultimately create a caloric surplus that leads to somebody getting fatter and fatter over time. Now, of course, that means, as I'm sure you know already, eating more calories than you're burning will cause you to store excess fat. Remember, when you eat more than you burn, you have extra energy levels in your body, and then the law of thermodynamics would then suggest that energy is neither created nor destroyed, but rather transferred, and so we store it. Now, that does mean it doesn't matter where the calories come from. If you're in a surplus, they will be going to your fat stores. Now, because of this data that we know, it is in fact not true that sugar makes you fat. Not any type of sugar, by the way. That includes sucrose, which is, table sugar, processed sugar. And by the way, anybody who claims otherwise on this claim either hasn't done the research at all, or is just trying to sell you on something, or has looked between the lines of the actual studies that have been done out there that have been put together to realize that sugar doesn't make you fat. They're just trying to sell you something, or they're ignorant themselves. So I would suggest you run the opposite way. Okay, so next we're gonna actually dive into the sugar in fruit and just further make this airtight logical case as to why fruit literally can't make you fat unless you do things completely wrong with it, and the chances are you're not going to. But let's go ahead and dive into the specific sugar that's in fruit, because it is actually different than table processed sugar and sugars that you'll find in other processed products as well. Because remember, people's main argument is that fruit has sugar and that's why it makes you fat, because it has sugar and sugar makes you fat, which is double wrong. So let's go ahead and investigate further. So like I mentioned previously, table sugar is the chemical name for it is known as sucrose, okay? There's also glucose. Glucose is the actual chemical name of the sugar that your body breaks outside sugar down into, okay? I'm trying to keep this in layman terms here. And so glucose, again, is what your body actually uses as fuel. Now, sugar has fructose. It also does have glucose at times as well, just a pure sugar that doesn't have to be broken down. So if you were to ingest glucose, your body doesn't have to break it down. It is readily available to be used, okay? Now, if your body ingests fructose from fruit, it does have to metabolize that and break it down into glucose. Now, this is done in the liver, and again, it's metabolized, so it does take a bit longer to process than when your body receives glucose and it is just ready to go. Now, according to some studies that have been done, it's clear that fructose actually does not elicit the same response in the body when it comes to insulin as as glucose or as sucrose does, okay? So as table sugar would, or these processed foods sometimes do, it does not spike your insulin levels. Now, when insulin levels are spiked, this is what increases the chance of somebody eating more because it causes you to get hungrier quicker, it causes blood sugar to drop. Fructose does not elicit that response. Now, another point to note is that if you do ingest excess fructose, okay, because it all has to be processed in the liver, if you have too much of it, then eventually your liver's actually not going to convert all of it to glucose. It will begin to convert it into triglycerides. Triglycerides are essentially a broken down form of fats. In other words, when you ingest fats, your body breaks it down into triglycerides so that it's actually usable. So people might start thinking, okay, well, if it breaks down into fat, into triglycerides, that's when it gets stored. But again, if we come back to what I said at the beginning of the video, if you're in a deficit, triglycerides are going to be used up. You will still not be able to store fat because there aren't enough triglycerides, an excess amount, for your body to store fat in the first place. So regardless of if you consume too much fructose, which by the way, you won't, it's very difficult. Just go ahead and show me somebody who binges on fucking bananas. Then you still wouldn't store fat if you're in an overall deficit. In other words, you can only eat fruit. The entire diet you have could only be comprised of fruit, but if you're in the deficit, you will not store fat. In fact, you will lose it. Now, on top of this, to even further solidify this, fruit in its natural form, in other words, not liquefied in a blender or juiced, comes packed with plenty of micronutrients and fiber. Okay, now what these micronutrients and especially the fiber does is it slows digestion down further. Okay, so when already ingesting fructose doesn't elicit a spike in insulin, it is even further less sensitive to spiking insulin and creating some sort of blood sugar rush because of the fiber, because of the micronutrients that are contained in it that you are consuming as well. Of course, this is one of the most important things about eating fruit, is the fact that it has so many benefits outside of just body composition, such as all the nutrients in them that can help with bodily functions that are necessary to live and function properly. They can fight cancer cells, free radicals, right? They will help with recovery. They will help with brain function. They will help with skin. All of these endless, countless benefits that come with consuming the micronutrients that you find in fruits in the first place. Of course, fiber is another thing that's very important that a lot of people don't get enough of. Fruits are one of the best ways to get that in a natural way. Okay, another reason, if I haven't convinced you yet, okay, is, as I mentioned, fruits by their very nature are very nutrient dense, okay? Now, nutrient dense means that they are not calorie dense, okay? Calorie dense and nutrient dense typically are on opposite ends of the spectrum, i.e. a Big Mac, not a lot of nutrients, but a lot of calories in a small package, whereas a pound of fruit is probably not even gonna have as many calories as that Big Mac, but a lot more micronutrients, okay? So fruits are extremely high in micronutrients, and as I just showed you in that example, it is extremely difficult, if not completely impossible, to actually binge on or overeat on fruits, simply because they will fill you up so much. Again, refer back to somebody binging on fucking bananas. It's not gonna happen. When was the last time you had an issue with binging on fruit? Tell me, please tell me, I'd love to know. Never, okay? People do not binge on fruit because it satisfies the body. It is not an artificial way that spikes blood sugar, okay? It is one of the most natural, one of, if not in some cases, the best possible food a human being can consume for not only bodily functions, but again, since they are so low in calories, it actually helps you get into a caloric deficit that helps you lose fat. In fact, if you're trying to lose fat, it should be recommended highly, as I always do, to eat lots of fruit, because guess what? You're not gonna go over your calories because you ate the fruit. You're gonna go over your calories because you gave into the cravings of eating something else that's typically calorie dense, that tastes a lot better, that's very sugary, a different type of sugary, meaning tons of calories in a small package, spikes blood sugar, and so on, not something packed with all the vitamins, minerals, fiber, and all this. It's fucking retarded. Anybody who says sugar makes you fat is so out of their mind, so ignorant, and so uneducated on how to help somebody lose fat that they need to just remove themselves from social media, from giving advice, until they read studies, until they do the appropriate research. So again, now that I've provided hopefully an airtight, logical case for why fruits can not only not make you fat, but only really help you lose fat. And by the way, obviously disclaimer, this should go without saying, if you're allergic to fruits, I know that some people are allergic to certain fruits, then obviously not a good idea to have those, right? But in any other case, if you're trying to lose fat, you are 10 times better off eating fruit than you are not eating fruit. For not even 10 times, 100 times. For not only the benefits that I mentioned, but the endless, countless benefits beneath the surface of consuming these amazing miracle foods, if you will. They will help you get leaner, they will help you lose fat, they will help you get stronger, they will help you recover, they will help you focus better, they will help you with your mood, they will help you mentally, they will help you in build muscle, they will help you in every way possible. They will fill you up, they will not spike blood sugar, they will actually help regulate your hormones. The list goes on, okay? And you can see that I'm a little bit fired up about this topic because it goes hand in hand with keto in a way. People are afraid of carbs and sugar. Look, end this fucking bullshit, okay? I'm here to bring this industry to justice, to bring fruits to justice. And by the way, if you're wondering that part of the reason why I'm so fired up is because my last name is a fruit, you're also partially right, but it doesn't change the facts here. You know, it's actually an embarrassment that in a world like today, where so few things seem to be natural, so few things are left that are so natural and pure, right? And I get it, fruits are made in such a way that they're made bigger and enhanced, okay, but they are still one of the more natural, if not the most natural, next to vegetables, things that we can consume for food, for fuel, to make our bodies and our lives better. And yet there are people that are coming out and telling you that one of the ultimate foods that have ever been created, that a human being can digest, is bad for you, is making you fat. They are so wrong, it's dangerous, it's harmful, and please, anytime you hear anybody saying that, you must understand that they must be discredited by everything else that they say, because if they're willing to give out that kind of information, God knows what else they're spewing out. It makes me sick to my stomach to think that people are actually ignorant enough to be dishing out this harmful, dangerous, and absolutely idiotic advice. Please share this video. Anybody that ever mentions anything about fruits being bad, share this video with them. Share this video with anybody who you know thinks that fruits are bad, okay? Spread the word and bring justice to the fruits. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful, and I hope that you'll never second guess one of the ultimate foods that ever exist ever again, okay? If you want to get to your goals faster and more enjoyably, do it in a healthy way that's sustainable, fruits are going to be a cornerstone of your diet, okay? Now, thanks again, like I mentioned, for watching. Love you, appreciate you. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in another video very soon. Thanks again. I'm out.